Hi guys, Radhika here again. So today I wanted to make a video on how to heal past hurts. So if you have gotten hurt in the past, how can you try to heal it yourself? Um, and this video will focus on writing. So you write down something and then you analyze it. So that's this way. So, if you're dealing with someone who has narcissistic personality disorder, I'm sure you have like a lot of these memories and a lot of these incidents where you were the one who was being victimized. And I don't like the word victimized, but basically, you were the one because I think that you are a victim only if you agree to play the role of a victim. But if you are, um, if you know what is going on, then you are no longer a victim. Okay, you are a victim only when something happens to you and you don't know what is happening, and you don't know why it is happening. So I wouldn't say victimized, but NPD people, they have so much negativity in themselves that they need to put it out. So if they found you as the person who they are going to give it to, so then in those situations we say that, oh, I was the victim, but actually what was happening is a lot of things were inside of them and they were giving it to you. So, and the things they were giving were not good, so you feel like the victim. Yeah, so basically, if you have stayed with a narcissist, or if you were raised by a narcissist, or if you have a narcissistic boss, friend, spouse, there will be like a plethora of such incidents. So yeah, especially if it continues over a period of time, it can really get to you. So it will be a long healing process. I'm saying long just because there is so many things that they will expose, and so many different ways in which they will make you feel bad about yourself. So you always have to like give it some time. Don't be hard on yourself if you feel like, why am I not feeling better already? Or if you go over one thing in your mind like 20 times, what it means is basically that memory that you are getting 20 times has something that is not resolved. It has not been resolved. You have not understood it. So, if you have not understood it, it will keep coming back. And that's what happens in life. If there is a lesson that you have to learn, it will keep coming back to you in different forms. Like sometimes it might be a friend, sometimes it might be a parent, sometimes even in a day it might be like someone said something that hurt you, and later in the day someone who's completely not related to this situation, to the morning situation, might say the same thing to you, and you will feel hurt again, and you will feel like, why is everyone on this earth out to get me? And you will have that feeling. And when you have that feeling, it's because some, whatever those incidents are, they are trying to tell you something, so you have to listen to it. So yeah, so basically it might be a long process, or basically don't worry about the time that it takes. Just stay at it, just keep at it, and you will keep on improving as a person. When you do it every time, you will become like a better and a better and a better person. Every time you try to heal a past hurt, you are basically improving yourself. Um, so yeah, and you have to do it for you, not for anyone else. Just do it for yourself. So take it as a learning, and it's like anything that you learn. So sometimes when we were babies, we were taught to like eat ourselves or talk or walk, on our own. And then we went to school, we were taught all these different subjects in school. Then we probably went to college and we got a degree. And even in office, every day you learn something new. So basically, we are always learning skills to live. through life, right? And we feel these skills are important because finally we want to earn money when we grow up and we want to sustain ourselves. So that is important. It is definitely important. But it is also important to know how to learn how to deal with emotions, and no one teaches you that. No one. And most people just learn it from their surroundings. So if they're in a, that's why narcissists, if you are in a narcissistic situation, in a narcissistic family, it becomes very difficult to understand what you have to do, because you are always looking at people around you who are not happy. And a lot of people, they, or who appear happy, they are not actually at peace. They appear happy and they appear, happy, but they have lows also. So they can't maintain a stable life. So to maintain a stable life, you need to learn how to process your emotions. And people in a narcissistic family definitely don't know how to do that. So yeah, some people learn it from religion, and religion is very, a lot of religions are very dictative. So they will tell you, oh, feel this way, but they don't tell you how to feel this way. And so that's where spirituality comes into play. And I'm not saying I'm against religion. All I'm saying is that's my experience, that religion will tell you this should be like this. So it will tell you how you should be, but it doesn't tell you the method or the procedure to go from state A to state B. And actually, yoga, in Indian history, yoga tells you that, and they have different ways to do that, like Karam Yoga, Raj Yoga, Hath Yoga, etc. So you can do one of those, or you can do whatever you find and whatever is working for you. But yeah, so spirituality, which yoga is also considered as a path of spirit, like a part of spirituality. So spirituality tells you that, and it tells you to go inside. So I kind of resonate with that. I don't know who else does, but I do, and that is what gave me peace, because I went inside myself and I asked myself that, like, I became my friend. So I did not need anyone else to understand me, because I started understanding myself. So it's very important that you understand yourself. You give yourself time, you give yourself credibility. If you're feeling uneasy in a situation, give yourself that credibility, that yes, I am feeling uneasy. Because most of the time we ignore our feelings. We say that, oh, why am I feeling uneasy? I should just go with it because no one else around me is feeling uneasy. But they are not you. You are you. So you have to respect your soul and your intuition and your feelings. And don't look at other people. Just look at yourself. So so yeah. So in this way, we also have to learn how to deal with our feelings. And for me, spirituality has helped me with that. And there are so many things in spirituality, so you really have to find something that helps you, because I don't think there is a size fits all kind of a thing that will cure everything. You have to find your little bits and pieces from here and there. um, so yeah, so basically in this I wanted to discuss writing and how it can help you. So say there is a situation that has been bothering you, which is in your memory because it was the past, it was something you went through, and the narcissist was involved in this situation. Maybe the narcissist involved other people from the narcissistic clan in the situation, and basically they might have, like, exploded a situation to make it really big, or anything like that. Or maybe the narcissist said something to you, on a one-on-one, in a one-on-one situation. So what do you do? Basically, you are carrying these feelings. This scene that you had with the narcissist is in your mind, and you can see it like a movie, right? You can visualize it, because it's something that has stuck within you, and it has moved you very much. So we can't always remember everything that happened in our life, but we do remember the things that we are supposed to remember. So if this is something you remember, then you are supposed to remember this. And you are supposed to remember this because you're supposed to learn something from it. So yeah, so basically when you remember it, this technique will take some time, but give it that time. So get a book or get a journal or something like that, get a piece of paper and write down what you, first of all, write down the incident. Write it like a story. It doesn't have to be like J.K. Rowling or like Tolstoy or someone like that elaborate description. You can just write like simple sentences like, I was sitting, so and so came, so and so said something, so and so said. I'm sure you will remember the words they said, so you can write the words that they said. Just write it down. Okay. So first, write down the situation. Second, so I'll put all this in the comments section. So if you forget, you can just see it from there. Sorry, not the comments, the information of the video that I put. Yeah, so the second thing you write down is, how did that make you feel? Okay, so now for this, you might be feeling something right now, like when you are remembering this, or when this memory comes up, you might feel anger or rage, or disgust, or some feeling of that sort. So you can write that down, what you are feeling now. But what I actually mean is, how did it make you feel that time when she said that, she or he or whoever it was, when they said that, how did it make you feel that time? So it is very it might be a little difficult, but you have to kind of really go back there and think, what did it make you feel? Like, what exactly did it make you feel at that time? Not today, although you can write it down, but what you feel today is not going to help you so much, because this is your response to a repressed memory. But when they said those words, your initial response will be to the words that they said, and that is the response that comes instinctively, by your instinct. So you have to remember that response. So write down that. Then the third point, write down, when was the last that you felt this way? Okay, last as in before this incident, not before today, but before this incident happened. How did Have you ever felt this way before? Okay, and when was it? Okay, now I'll give an example to explain all of this. um okay, then the fourth thing is, this kind of is with the third one. Did you ever feel this way that you felt in this situation when you were younger? Okay, when you were a kid. Fifth point, what can you learn from this? Okay, and sixth point, are there any doable steps, like steps that you can take, or is it a thing to let go? Okay, now letting go is also a step actually, because it's hard work to let go of something. It's not that easy of just letting go something. Okay, but yeah, um, is it something that you do something about, or is it something that you just let go? Okay, so okay, so let me explain all of this with an example. Okay, so let me give you an example. So my example is, as I told you, I was pregnant. I had my baby was in the NICU, and after he was out of the NICU, I was eating a lot actually, and that's because I was being fed a lot, and I had to eat it because that's the way it was done in my husband's family, and I didn't want to eat, but I was still like eating a lot of very very calorific stuff, and it was supposed to make the milk good. So I just did it because I thought, I don't know exactly if it will help or not, so I did whatever. I just thought it might help my son, so I did it. But I was also gaining a lot of weight, and I was becoming unhealthy. I could not walk. I was getting tired very easily. So I could see that this food is not good for me, but I thought maybe it's good for my son. So I was eating it. So, anyways, so I had become very, very fat. And so this cousin of my husband, she had come to visit us, and she looked at me, and my son is very skinny because he was a underweight baby. So she looked at my son, who was 6 months old, and she said, he looks like he's 2 months old. He's so skinny, he's so small. And at that time, that was a very sensitive thing for me, for someone to say that to my son, because we had been through a lot. And then she went on to say that it looks like the mom has taken all of the baby's weight. That's what she said. So, as you see, it's a very loaded sentence, whatever she said. So, it did hurt me, for a long while, that how can people be like this? How can people say such things? Um, so, say this is the situation, okay? And this is a real life situation. So, I write it down, okay? How did it make me feel? Okay, now, not how did it make me feel today, but how did it make me feel back then when she said it? So, the first thing that it made me feel back then was disbelief. Okay, I felt disbelief because I felt that how can someone be like this? That is the first thing I felt. The second thing I felt, and these feelings come up, one by one after some time. So the first feeling that comes to you is always your most important feeling. So always the first feeling that comes to me is disbelief, that how can it be like this, that kind of a thing. Second feeling that I got was I felt bad because she said something for my son, that he looked younger than his age and he looked tiny, uh, which was actually the truth. And but to say it to someone is mean, and that is also the truth, that you should not say it to someone because it's mean. You don't know what that person has been through to take care of their son or their baby or anything that's personal to someone. You should always think a lot before saying it, because it's you don't know the whole situation basically. So yeah, so it made me feel that it made me feel bad, for my son. And third thing it made me feel was that I'm a bad mother, because because like uh, I felt like I could not give him whatever height or weight or whatever, because I felt like I am giving him that. So that is the third thing I felt. And the fourth thing I felt was deeply, I felt bad because I felt like I am being told that I am fat, that I am a certain way, which is not good. Whatever that is, fat, tall, skinny, black, I mean dark skinned or white or gay or straight or whatever, or dumb, all these things. So basically, she made me feel that way. Okay, she made me feel like I don't fit in, like I'm not good enough. And fat is just one way, but you can feel like you're not good enough for a lot of things, and that's what most people feel a lot of time, that they are not good enough. So yeah, those are the feelings I felt. When have you last felt this way? So I have a lot of examples when I have last felt this way. So you can write those down. Like, so basically, what did I feel? I felt disbelief. Whenever I watch the news, I feel disbelief. How can this be happening? I feel that. So you will have a lot of examples for every feeling that you feel. Did you ever feel like this when you were young? Okay, so I did feel like this when I was young, because first of all, I was very surprised at the way people act in this world. Like when I was a child, I would see people bully other people, and I was always thinking, why are they doing this? I would see people throw stones at dogs or be bad to animals, and I would feel like, why are they doing this? How are they getting entertainment out of it? That's what I would not understand, because they would actually enjoy doing this, enjoy like pulling someone's leg, but actually making that person feel bad. They just say they are pulling someone's leg, but actually what they are doing is they are hurting another person, and they do it under the disguise of funniness or being comic. So yeah, I would feel like that a lot when I was a kid. Also, when I was a kid, I was very fat. And I have this tendency of gaining weight. That's just the way my genes are. And even when I was a kid, I was always teased in my school by everyone, most people, mostly boys. Girls are a little more like, some girls are sneaky, but mostly girls are not that mean to other girls. Maybe sometimes they are, but if you just cry in front of a girl once because they call you something, most of the time they just learn from that situation. They learn that I said something that made her hurt, and so I'm not going to do that. And most of the girls I have met in my life are like that. um, yeah, but boys sometimes they get into like a group mentality, and then they want to show who is the boss, and they hurt others more. um, so yeah, I did feel like this a lot when I was in school. Okay, so what can you learn from this? Now, let me tell you, when you go to step number 3 and 4, and so 1, 2, 3, and 4 are going to make you feel triggered. Okay, because I'm kind of behind, I'm kind of ahead of all of this now. This is all behind me, so I'm feeling a little bit better about it. I mean, not better, but I can talk about it without feeling all those feelings again. But a lot of times when you are saying it again, or when you're writing it down again, or thinking it again, you will, all these feelings will come up. So you also have to understand that when you do this, you also have to keep a list of positives that is in your life. You should be in that space. If you're in a very depressed space, this might depress you more. So make sure you go to point number 5 and point number 6 when you are doing this. Okay, so point number 5 is, what can you learn from this? Okay, so what can I learn from this? Disbelief. Okay, so the disbelief that I feel. So a lot of things in life make me feel disbelief, because I feel like, how can things be this way? Okay, so that is because at the heart of it all, we this is our body, but inside we have a soul. Okay, and soul is the true essence of you. So I just feel that I am a very, very sensitive soul. So I don't like seeing negativity in this world in any form. I just don't like it. I feel like this world can be a very good place if everyone just looks into themselves, even the bad people, if they just look into themselves and solve these problems that are inside us, the world can heal and the world can be like a heaven. We don't need another heaven that we go to. This world will be a heaven. Okay, and there are so many people like that. Like, there's so many people. Some people are famous, but trust me, there are so many people in the world who believe this. So that is why I feel disbelief. That I just feel like, why don't people get it that everything can be so good? Why are they doing these bad things? So what can I learn from this is that this is the world, and this is the way the world is, and I need to accept that. And I've had a hard time accepting that since I was a kid, and I'm almost 30 now, and in these 30 years I have come to acceptance slowly, but I still get surprised by the world, by the negativity in the world. So it's a process, right? You can't, it's not like, okay, learned and done. If it was that easy, it was great, but it's not that easy. So the lesson from this is that the world is negative and the world is also positive. So where there is light, there is also dark. So we have to see it from all perspectives. Okay, and if we don't know the dark, how will we even say that the light is light? If you don't know sadness, how will you know that what you're feeling right now is happiness? Or if you don't know happiness, how will you know sadness? So it's a very simple concept. If you don't know hot, you cannot know cold. So you get to experience all of it. And the teaching is that things are the way they are, you just experience it, it's a learning. Okay. And yeah, so that's what I can learn from this. Second thing is I was feeling responsible for my son. Okay. So the second thing is that the what can I learn from this, that I was feeling responsible, or I was feeling I was a bad mother for my son. So what I can learn from this is I know I did my 100%. Whatever I could do for my son, I have done. And there will always be people who will criticize something about my son. Maybe it's his weight. When he grows up, someone might criticize his behavior, someone might criticize his grades, someone might criticize his height or the way he looks, and people do it. And there is negativity in the world, so people are going to do it. Are you always going to keep your son away from everyone? And are you always going to keep him protected so that if someone says something to him, you should not feel bad? So see how selfish it is. Basically, I was feeling bad because someone said something to my son. Okay, so they said it to my son, who cannot even understand. He was 6 months old. He understands like things but not proper words, so he would not have understood that what that person was saying. But I felt bad because I took it on my ego. I took it on my ego that she said it to my son. She doesn't know my efforts. So basically, my ego is coming up. It's like my son. And that's what the narcissist thinks, right? If you are a narcissist, if you have been around, they feel like my son listened to his wife, my daughter listened to her husband, or my daughter did not listen to me. So they feel like that. So basically, you have to recognize this feeling. Okay, it's a human feeling, we all are humans. So you will feel it. You will feel like my son, my husband, my house, that my will always be there. So you have to recognize that my, and whenever you feel that my, it's actually your ego. And you might feel that no, they did something bad to me, it's not my ego. But trust me, whenever the my thing comes in, if you actually go to the root of it, it is always ego. And that's, I'm not saying it as a bad or a negative thing, I'm just saying that recognize it. And we all have it, we have to have it in this world to survive. If we don't have it, we die. So you have to have ego. But you can recognize your ego and you can try to work with it. um, okay, then the third thing I felt was I felt bad for being fat, right? I was really fat in that stage. And so okay, this takes me back to my childhood because I've always struggled with my weight. And so what does it tell me? Okay, so I understand that genetically I might have some genes that make me put on weight easily. Okay, I also realized that I used to eat unhealthy when I was a child because my parents did not eat healthy. So I ate anything my parents ate. And that made me fat because they would eat like oily, fried, calorific, carbs, everything unhealthy for you. And it was very tasty. It was very sugar laden and tasty food. So you eat it. And I recognize now these are issues with my parents when they were bringing me up. Okay, and it's not something that you hate your parents for, but it's something that you recognize. Okay, and they did not know it. If they knew it that this was bad, they wouldn't do it. But it's just that they don't know that it is bad. They didn't know it when they were raising you. So fine, so basically all these things, all these factors added into my weight and my metabolism when I was growing up. Okay, because those years are important, how you feed yourself in those years. And I was not fed properly. But I don't hold any regret against my parents because they didn't know any better. Most of the time people don't know any better. So yeah, so basically I recognize that. Okay, so it is difficult for me to lose weight, it is very easy for me to gain weight. What can I do about it? Okay, this is so yeah, this is what I learned. Okay, now we go to the sixth step. Are there any doable steps? or are there any let go steps? Okay, so the first situation, disbelief, that I feel like the world is a bad place. Okay, so for that, what can I do? I can try to change it in my own way. That is a doable step. I can be good, I can do good, I can spread only positivity. So do that. Okay, do positive things, do whatever that is for you. Are there any let go steps? Yes, you have to let go, because the world is the way the world is. I cannot single handedly in 1 minute change the world. Okay, so the world is going to be like that, and the world is always going to give you some lessons. So you just have to learn from those lessons. Okay. Um, Second thing I felt was attachment for my son. Okay, so attachment is also a very thing that you have to balance. Okay, because you have to balance attachment. You can't be over attached and you cannot be like completely detached. Okay, so I recognized my ego there, and now going ahead, if anyone says anything to my son, I kind of recognize it as a comment that they have for my son. That's it. I don't have to give it more importance. if it is if it is a really good comment, like if someone actually says that maybe you can feed your child so and so, and I had fed my child so and so and it helped him or her gain weight, then I can take that comment and make it something doable. Okay, like I can try to feed my son that. But if it is a comment which comes out of spite and which comes out of this negative place, then what can I do? I just have to let it go, and I have to reduce that attachment that she said so to my son. That my son, I need to minimize that the ego that I have to minimize it. So, yeah, that is another thing you can do. Then the third thing, being fat. Okay, so what can I do about it? I can eat healthy, I can exercise. After that, whatever my body shape is, it is the way it is. I have to accept it, and I have to let it go. And I have to love my body, because my body helps me do so many things. It helps me work, it helps me accomplish my tasks, it helps me travel and explore the world. So I should be thankful for my body. So basically, if you go through these steps and actually get down to the root cause of your problem, I know it's time consuming, even this video has become like really long. But yeah, do those things. And I don't think if you just do it once, it will be very helpful. If you want, just write down this analysis and keep it somewhere where, if you don't want to share it with others, just keep it somewhere secret. And then the next time again that incident comes up in your memory, just go through this analysis, and every time you can just keep on adding notes to this. And then finally, if you have been through this x number of times and this memory is not coming back to you, or even if it comes back to you, your next thought is like, you know what, let it go. If that's the stage you have reached when you don't care about it, then you have healed from that experience, because that experience has taught you what it had to teach you, and it has gone away now. So now your subconscious is saying, hey, you have worked on this, so I'm going to leave it. Okay, so that's how you heal anything that has been hurting you. So I hope you found this video helpful, and I wish you a lot of love and a lot of light. Thank you. Bye.